Have my required funds. You are required to keep those in your account the entire time through the process. So I had those in my account. So I paid it off, but then I still needed the document stated that I paid it off or settled with the debt collector. So waiting on them to email me that or mail it to me. One of the companies, they wouldn't email it, so I had to wait for it to come in the mail. So I ended up missing my original date of the 14th of March to meet back with my MC. So I was still waiting on the documents. I sent the stuff over to him. So we were trying to determine what would be the best date to come back in. He was like, well, you need to volunteer. And I was like, okay, I can come in, whatever. I ended up going to the office to volunteer. And when I went to volunteer, I was like calling people to say, hey, FYI, the workshop is this weekend, you signed up for, don't forget, type of thing. So as I'm there volunteering, the director of the office ends up walking in, and he was like, oh, hey, congratulations. And I'm like, thanks, being friendly Bob, thanks, not even knowing what he's talking about, right? So I'm steady calling out. And so like the secretary, she was like, she's pre-qualified? And he was like, yeah, wait, does she even know? And he came back in the room like, did you even know? And I'm like, no, wait, what? I'm what? He was like, you're pre-qualified. I was like, as I'm like calling people, I'm like, trying not to scream because that was like a big moment. In the back of my head, I'm still like new to all of this and fresh, so I wasn't quite sure where I was at. But I was just like, okay, pre-qualification, that's a good sign. That means Naca is like, hey, you got all your ducks in a row. You can start looking for houses. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So now what? So now there's a totally different workshop. There's a homeowner's workshop that you need to go to. So I'm not even following mine. I'm so excited, like I'm living through it again. I'm not even following the notes that I have here. So basically, I had the home buyers workshop that I needed to go to. So from the research that I was still doing every day, I learned that having an in-house realtor may be the best bet because your realtor is in the office. She's able to kind of push your files up to the front and whatnot. And so I decided to go with an in-house realtor. So went to the workshop, learned some more things, got my pre-qualification letter. Looks kind of like the action plan at the top. Looks kind of like the action plan at the top. But it says pre-qualification form or qualification form. So the date on here is March the 28th. And it basically breaks it down. It has the qualification requirements, your required amount of funds, your minimum required funds, how much has to be in your bank account the entire time. It says like your monthly gross income. It also tells you your debt. But the main thing on here, it tells you on the second page your mortgage amount. So it basically gives you the breakdown, and it tells you the interest rate for a 30-year or 15-year loan. And it also tells you the mortgage amount that you're approved for a 30-year or 15-year loan. So I received this. We have the workshop, the homebuyers workshop. And also a part of it is a list of inspectors that you can use when you find the home of your dreams, for you to go ahead and have them come and inspect the home. So, had my home buyers workshop. At my home buyers workshop, I actually was able to meet with the in-home realtor. It's just like a small meet and greet. Hey, what's your name? My name's this, my name's that. You're looking to go with the in-house realtor. Great, I'm your girl. Exactly what type of home are you looking for? So I told her the type of home that I was looking for. I didn't have a really long list because this was all surreal to me. So I knew that I needed to have enough room for my kids. I have 2 girls, so I wanted them each to have their own room. Of course, my room. And then I wanted either a extra room for my business or / office, or just some extra space for that, for the space to be designated for my office / business. So I wanted either a 3-bedroom home with the bonus room, or a 4-bedroom home. And I didn't want it to have carpet. I wanted maybe like wood floor or tile, ceramic, something like that. I did not want carpet because I knew we would end up with a dog. I didn't want to have to deal with carpet and vacuuming. I didn't want that. And what else? Oh, I wanted a fenced-in backyard because of the pet that we planned on getting. Not that planned on getting. I take that back, because February the 7th, my father actually got my youngest a dog for her birthday. So he had the dog with him and he was training the dog. So I knew that I would have a dog when I moved into the house. So that was something that I wanted to make sure that I had a fenced in yard. I didn't have carpet. I needed enough space for us to live and for me to run my business out of my home. And that was it. Oh, and I wanted 2 bathrooms. I wanted to have an ensuite, a master suite. But if I did not have that, I still needed 2 bathrooms. Like, I still needed 2 bathrooms. So that was it. That was my checklist. Easy peasy, right? my realtor was like, that's it? I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm not picky. I just want to walk in and be like, this is home. She was like, okay, when you want to start looking? This particular day, I want to say it was a Wednesday, maybe. And I was like, I don't know. She was like, we can start looking Saturday. I was like, okay. Mind you, I have been looking online at homes every day for like the past year or something. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. So kept looking. So my relative sent me this house, and I was like, I had seen that, and I was just like, eh. And she was like, well, let's just go look at it. And I was like, okay. So went to go look at it, and I walked around, and I was like, okay. So I went home, I just thought about it, I prayed on it, I thought about it, I prayed on it, I thought about it, and I called, and I was like, let's put in an offer. She was like, okay. Accepted. I was like, oh, okay. They accepted my offer. Now what? Then the ball starts rolling. Had to get the inspection done. Got the inspection done. And I was like, okay. Nothing really wrong with the house. Okay. Ball kept rolling. When I got the inspection done, you do have to pay, like, out of pocket. And that's not a part of your minimum of required funds. So this extra fee for the inspection is not a part of that. It's separate. So my inspection was for just like what Naca requires you to get. It was $500, but I also had my sewer line checked. Come on, y'all. I don't really know know too much about nothing, but I know a plumber, and he specifically told me to make sure you get that sewer line, basically, the inspector takes a camera, runs it through your plumbing or sewer line from your house to the street, and make sure like you good, right? Like it's not anything clogged up that you gonna end up having to pay after you close. So I did that, crystal clear, everything is fine. I'm like, okay, so what's next? So the inspector sends a list to the hand department. The hand department is basically the department that handles any type of like repairs or renovations that you plan on doing in the home. The inspector sends his report to them, and they send back a report of what they require you to get done on the home. Like they want to make sure that the home is safe for you. So here's a list of things that we require you to get done, and then here's a list of you can choose to get it done if you want to and add it to the back end of your loan if you want. But I ended up having a few things on there that I felt like was a requirement that I felt like I couldn't just come out of pocket and pay. And if they can tack it on to the end of my loan, then I'll be good, because I still came in under the amount that in my head I was willing to pay by adding those things on there. So I had to call a contractor to come out to the house and give me a bid on the work that I wanted to get done on the house. So they didn't start any work or anything like that. They basically came and looked and said, it's gonna cost you this amount of money. They sent the bid over to Han. Han ended up sending it over to Bank of America. That's who I have my mortgage through, for them to add that onto the loan. So all of this has taken place. Oh, and in between all of this, my mortgage counselor kept asking me for the same documents over and over and over again. So I didn't go anywhere without my like little briefcase. I had my laptop and I had all of my documents that I had to print off and sign and scan back over to them. I didn't go anywhere without that. I kept it with me at all times. When I would go to work, I would have it with me. When I would go to the Naca office, I would have it with me. No matter what, if I would have it with me at all times, just in case my mortgage counselor needed a document. I also put everything on a flash drive, so I could easily just put it into my laptop, jump on, and send it over to him whenever he needed it. So I made sure that when he emailed me, I was on it. Like, I checked my email so often, it was crazy. And I'm like, oh, let me respond back. Okay, getting it over to you now. Even if I wasn't like, I didn't have like internet access wherever I was at, I'd be like, okay, give me a moment. I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. I still responded back to him to let him know that I seen it, and so he could keep an eye out for my email coming back to him. So I put my offer in on April the 6th. The expected close date was May the 28th, which was fine with me because we were living in an apartment at the time, and my apartment required a 60-day notice prior to moving out. They give you a timeline of when you expect to close after putting in your offer with Naca, but things can happen. Things can happen with the hand department. Things can happen with the mortgage lender. Things can happen. So they don't want you to immediately be like, forget all the other things. So I'm just going to be moving out this day. And then you end up with no home because it has happened. So I said, okay. So everything worked out. I closed on the day I was supposed to close. It was easy peasy. My closing paperwork, that took 30 minutes. They handed me my keys and I was like, that's it? I did not
understand anything. People were talking about how you're supposed to receive something in the mail. I didn't receive that in the mail. I didn't receive it. And they were like, don't worry about it. But then I did receive it. And I was like, wait, this ain't it. These numbers ain't right. I'm confused. I was confused the entire time, y'all. I didn't understand nothing. I was just stepping out on faith. And I was like, Lord, if this is for me, if this is for my kids, then let's make it happen. So the cherry on it is that my kids did not know that I was going through this process the entire time. They knew that we were planning on moving, and they knew that we were going to probably end up in the house. But they didn't know that I was going to be buying the house. They didn't know any of that. They just knew because my oldest, that like they shared a room in the apartment. So they just knew that we would be moving soon. That was it. I didn't say, oh, I looked at a place today. I wasn't saying anything the entire time. They didn't know what was going on. They knew nothing. And so the day I closed, picked them both up from school, and I had already like went and bought a card. Just thinking about it is making me. I went and bought a card, and I went and bought like a little box, and I put the key to the house in the box, and I wrote the girls a really, really heartfelt note, and I let my youngest read the note, and I let my oldest open up the box, but I waited until we pulled in the driveway. She opened up the box, and they were screaming, and they ran to the house. And so I have a clip of that. I'll probably upload that. If I don't add it to this, because it's probably too long, I'll probably just have a separate video of it. But so I probably skipped over a lot of things. I didn't even read my notes. I don't know. I got so excited. So I hope that I answered some of you guys' questions. Basically, I started the Naca process February the 13th, 2019, and I closed on my home May the 28th, 2019. What's that? February, March, April, May. Yeah, it's still so surreal. I feel like one day they will come knocking like, nah, he didn't mean to do this. I hope not. No, it's mine. Trust me, I get the mortgage every month, and they're like, time for you to pay. But if you guys have any questions, please leave the comments below. Please subscribe. I'm gonna try to I will start uploading videos daily. I just want you guys to see our everyday life, me being a single homeowner, businesswoman, single mother, just trying to get through each day with two girls, 16-year-old and a soon-to-be 12-year-old. She'll be 12 on the 7th of February. So, just trying to live day by day, and get through it, and get through life, this hard thing called life. So, please subscribe. I promise you I have some more content, fun things that you guys would want to see. So, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments down below, any questions that you may have. Once again, I was confused the entire time. I was confused. But if I know any answers, I for sure will let you know. And it may be good. Somebody watching the video could possibly know the answer, and they can, comment off of you as well. Thank you guys so much, and see you next time. Bye.
Nasty vibes.